Gamers of the internet, there is no shortage of games out there to play. With every year comes the discovery of new groundbreaking indie gems, and sometimes even a AAA game that doesn't suck. As a gamer myself, I have a huge back catalog of games I own and want to play more of. Games from previous years that I've only put a handful of hours into, or potentially never even opened. There's a lot of games out there that I love playing. So why, instead of playing these new games to get new experiences, do I instead choose to just play a small handful of the same old games over and over again? To answer that question, I think I need to analyze the kinds of things I spend all my time playing. The first pair of games I find myself coming back to time and again are Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero. Honestly, I don't actually think I need to do a whole lot of analyzing to figure out why I spend so much time with these two games in particular. They're gacha games, designed to be addictive time sinks. Doing dailies, completing events, even force-feeding books and rocks into my characters can take up a lot of time. If you've been a viewer of my channel for a while, then you'd know these questionable elements aren't enough to dissuade me from loving Genshin and Zenless. These two games have incredible gameplay, beautiful cutscenes, and an engaging as hell story. They're just straight up good games. Combining manipulative gacha mechanics with a phenomenally fun game in its own right creates this perfect storm where my entire life becomes consumed by these anime waifus. It's unfair that Hoyo managed to cook this hard. But spending too much time in gacha games is just a reality of life. It's not really a mystery why I play these over other things, and is therefore just a small footnote in this video. What's quite a bit more nebulous to me is why I spend so much time with the second and final game of today's video, Elden Ring. Ever since it came out, I've been consistently logging hours into this game. At time of recording, I think I've only beaten it 3 or 4 times, but I have all 10 character slots filled with different builds at different stages of progression. I should be bored of Elden Ring by now with how much I've played it, but I'm just not. I want to spend significant time with every single different unique weapon, which of course necessitates creating 10 plus characters. I don't have a problem. This is normal human behavior, I swear. Having so many unique different characters creates a bit of a challenge though that is specific to Elden Ring. Unlike other Souls games, Elden Ring has an entire open world to explore. The open world element makes for a phenomenal first time playthrough, but for all 9 of my subsequent characters, it adds a lot of hours of prancing around through fields on Torrent's back that could be better spent in legacy dungeons or having my balls stepped on by bosses.
I am Melania.
The thing that's craziest to me about all this is that Souls-like RPGs aren't even my favorite genre. That accolade probably goes to survival horror games. But you don't see me here talking today about my obsession with replaying Dead Space or Resident Evil. And I think the reason for that is due to just how replayable Elden Ring specifically is. Every single one of my 10 characters plays through the content of the game so differently and in different orders. Elden Ring has hundreds of weapons and spells. It's a game of almost endless replayability, so it's easy to have fun doing different things in it. But that doesn't answer why I play Elden Ring instead of new, different games. Objectively speaking, if I'm looking for a variety of fun, playing completely different games will provide that more than replaying Elden Ring for the 10th time. Perhaps the most infuriating of these neglected gems are things I bought recently. For example, a few weeks ago I purchased Cyberpunk 2077, another great RPG, and I've barely touched it. It has awesome gunplay, cool progression, and an immersive as hell world. It's a game you could easily sink dozens if not hundreds of hours into, and yet it sits in my library with only 16. But at least I've only owned Cyberpunk for a few weeks. I can still make the excuse that I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Cyberpunk probably still believes that I've only just gone out to the store for milk and cigarettes. I can't make that excuse to the games I bought years ago and still haven't finished. One of these games is Tales of Arise. This is a more traditional action combat JRPG. I like everything about this game. The characters, the story, the world building, the progression, not to mention the combat itself. This is a game I desperately want to play more of, want to see the end of. But for some reason, I always put it down for months at a time. Whenever I do come back to it, I have to spend half an hour trying to remember how each character plays, what the controls are, and what my next objective is. This little song and dance I do every single time makes me feel like I might have worse dementia than Joe Biden. If I could just sit down and finish the game, I wouldn't have that problem. But despite being something I'm eager to play more of and love playing when I do, I just don't. Finally, if there's any game I should play to completion from a utilitarian standpoint, it would be Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I really need to roll credits on this so I can uninstall its fat 120GB ass from my hard drive. I have no reason not to play it. I love its predecessor, I love being a Jedi, I love using the Force, and most of all, I love slicing apart fascist stormtroopers. Especially after my local law enforcement told me I'm not allowed to kill Nazis in real life anymore. I gotta play more of Jedi Survivor. But I don't. Apparently, I'd rather circumcise the foreskin duo for the millionth time. So again, why is it that the only game I play, outside of the Hoyoverse Live Service universe, is Elden Ring? I guess to explore why a little bit further, I don't strongly dislike anything in this game. Every part of it is on some level enjoyable to me. I even find value in its bad aspects. Elden Ring is just comfortable to me. And I think right there is where my answer really begins to come into focus. It's an easy game to play. I don't mean easy in terms of the literal difficulty. I mean it's easy for me to click on this big green play button instead of any other big green play button. Elden Ring is a game where I don't have to pay attention to a huge AAA story. I don't need to try to remember tons of complicated mechanics and interactions. I don't need to remember what quest I was on. I can just jump in with any of my 10 characters and immediately begin having fun. This, I believe, is the crux of the issue with why I play Elden Ring instead of anything else. Since I've already finished Elden Ring, I don't have to pay attention to all the story elements. I can be in a Discord call with others and not worry about missing something. And with no major checkpoints or save locations, I know that no matter how little time I have to game, every session of Elden Ring can still be filled with some small, meaningful progress. And this game is simple enough to make sure that I will never have a senior moment and forget the controls or my next objective. Upon reflection, I really think that this is why Elden Ring eats up all my gaming time. The combination of comfort and its endless content. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong with this assessment. Do you have any better ideas for why I'm so consumed with Elden Ring and so averse to playing anything else? Leave a comment down below with your theories, or your experiences with only playing the same thing over and over, even though you know you shouldn't. I think we could probably all learn a lot if we put our heads together and try to figure out what's going on. And you could learn a lot more about me if you subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos. Almost everything is either video game or anime related. Yeah, sometimes reviews, sometimes essays, sometimes weird conversations like this video. I guarantee you will find something of note on my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to stay positive and have a wonderful day, everyone.